All right, guys. So for today's pod, I want to talk about the entire NFL draft, the first round. Obviously, we're not going to go every single pick through 7 rounds. We're going to do every single pick in the first round, which is what everybody's familiar with. And then we're going to talk about the Eagles specifically and what they're going to do overall in the draft. So with the first pick, the Cincinnati Bengals, I think, are going to go Joe Burrow. I don't think he's the second coming of, he won't be Carson Wentz. He may not be, I think he might be Jared Goff. I think his ceiling is Tony Romo. He's like a kind of mobile guy, right? That has a decent arm, but not a crazy good arm. And his stats were inflated because of the team he had around him. He had a squad that was just otherworldly. I mean, honestly, anybody will look good in that offense, right? So we have to account for the inflated stats with this guy. I'm not saying he sucks, but last year he was not this good last year. He made a huge leap in 1 year. So you really have 1 year of really good play. So you wonder if that's like an outliner or if that's going to continue. So to me, Tua is the better player overall if he was healthy. But I know the pick is Joe Burrow. Kevin, who do you think is going to go number one? And what do you think of Joe Burrow?
In complete agreement with you, my man. I totally believe Cincinnati's going to go Joe Burrow at number one. Number one, he's the Heisman Trophy winner. It's super incredible year that he had. But what you said was interesting because if you look back to the 2018 season, he was pedestrian, man. He was absolutely average, just average. But, I mean, some people could argue, well, maybe he was average because the system they were running that year was from the dark ages.
Yeah.
Just line up I formation, power set, so he really didn't get to display anything. But I still think, like you said, the team around him was ridiculous. So some of that stuff is inflated, but he's got traits, man. He has traits that do translate. And what I do like having that, what's the coach's name that came from the Saints and now he's the OC with Carolina?
Carolina.
Yeah, he's the
OC.
Brady.
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady. Yeah. What you like about him is he had pro concepts that he used in the college game. So I think that'll translate very well for Burrow as he gets there. Cincy, but this is Cincinnati.
Right. Right.
So he's got the tools. What I like about him, he's very accurate. Just depending on what Cincinnati does. So
yeah, sometimes if you end up in a bad situation, you're not going to be any good.
Yeah.
Thomas, what do you think? Who do you think is going to get drafted? I mean, we're in agreement that it's Burrow, me and Kevin, but I don't know. You could feel a different way.
Yeah, I think it's 100% going to be Burrow. I think the only way something like that would change would be, well, it would still be Burrow, but I think Miami could possibly trade up to number one. If I was Miami, I would, because you put so much into making sure you were so bad this year, and then you don't get Burrow. And
did they try? I felt like they were changing the culture in Miami. They were winning games later in the year.
Later in the year, I think Brian Flores is going to be a really good coach in the league.
Oh yeah,
he had nothing, and he still won 5 or 6 games, I think.
If you guys remember early in the year, guys were asking to be traded from that situation in Miami, and they were like, "Get me out of here." By the end of the year, what did they finish? Like 6-10 or 5-11?
I want to say 5-11. Yeah.
Yeah, but the end of that year was impressive. They were.
I think four of their last 5 wins, wins were later in the season.
So you're on board with Joe Burrow. Does anyone disagree? Jack, Eagles Countdown, or Zachary?
No, I agree with you guys. I was just starstruck with what he did in this year in college, and I didn't really think about the fact that he was just average the past few years. And I'd be surprised if Cincinnati trades, but
go ahead.
Yeah, no, Joe Burrow is if you look at any past draft, the first overall pick, most teams are kind of locked into that pick and that player for almost a month or 2 months in advance. And you are 100% right with the comparison of Tony Romo. If you look at his game film and you really break that down, in the pocket, he's really about average. He's more of a short to middle passer. But as soon as he gets out of that pocket, just like Tony Romo, he excels. He knows where he's going to go. He works better on when he's outside of the pocket. And that Tony Romo comparison is perfect. And yeah, he's going to go to Cincy. I think he's got what is that, Press or Zach Taylor as the head
Yeah,
coach.
I worry about the head coach
Yeah.
there, but
He might be, depending on who he has around him, because you got AJ Green that's sitting there that is, who knows where he's going to go. I know he's there, but is he going to be healthy?
he missed all last year. But if he ain't healthy, then his career might be over. But he's got to be healthy. They're saying he's healthy.
Exactly. So it depends on who's around him and how he thing. Like you said, that offense was stacked in OSU. You had Chase, you had Jeffries, you had Moss, you had Clyde Edwards. That offensive line was undervalued. So depending on what he comes into in Cincinnati, it all depends on how his career is going to flourish or he's going to phase out real quickly.
Okay. So we're pretty much on agreement on Joe Burrow to Cincinnati. So with the second pick, is Washington going to take Chase Young? And as an Eagles fan, are we pooping ourselves because they're going to take Chase Young? And they now have Montez Sweat. I think that's his name. And they have
Yes.
Allen in the middle. And then they have Kerrigan, who always gives Lane Johnson fits. And they're going to still get Chase Young. Are we all in agreement they're going to take Chase Young? And who does Chase Young compare to? I mean, he's coming out of that Ohio State defensive end factory, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, and he was better than both those guys in college and got more sacks this past year, I believe, if I'm remembering the stats correctly. So, number one, do we think there's any chance Washington trades down? And are we all in agreement that it's going to be Chase Young? I'm going to start with let's start with Thomas on this one. What do you think?
I think the safe pick is they're probably going to get Chase Young. But honestly, if I was them, I won't get Chase Young because, like you said, they have so many people in the front seven who are already good pass rushers.
It's almost like a logjam, right?
Yeah. And Chase Young would definitely help with everything. But if you look at, I mean, their secondary is not bad either. But if I was them, I'd think about drafting Isaiah Simmons from Clemson, because you look at how much success Ron Rivera had with
Yes,
Luke
he did.
Kuechly.
Yes, he did.
And then you throw Isaiah Simmons into that Luke Kuechly role.
That almost
think-
feels like the right pick instead of the forced pick.
Yeah,
Like
I think
Chase Young.
I think it would help their team out a lot better. I think Chase Young is the better player, but I think Simmons would help the Redskins win more
Kevin, I'm
games.
interested in hearing what you have to say about that.
Oh man, Thomas, you just threw a curveball in there, man.
Right?
I hadn't even thought about that.
I
didn't
haven't
think about
heard
that
one
either.
person say it.
Yeah, and the fact that you said coming with Ron Rivera being the head coach there now, the Luke Kuechly comparison is something to think about.
It is.
The only thing that'll
Thomas
make me
Davis.
stick with Chase. Say that again.
And Thomas Davis. Yeah, they had a bunch of linebackers.
Tremendous linebackers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still stick with the pass rusher, especially being that Ron Rivera is going to implement that 43 defense. So you're going to have those guys playing in the right positions. You're going to have Allen, the guy from Alabama last year, he's going to be at D tackle, probably playing the 3 technique.
Yeah.
And then with Kerrigan is a hand in the ground type of guy, even though he can stand up. But I think he's better come off the edge with his hand in the dirt. And you got Young on the other side. That makes that front formidable, man. And
So who's coming off the bench then? Because you have Sweat, Kerrigan, and you have now Chase Young.
Sweat's going to be the situational guy, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, and especially in that 43, I don't think he has the bulk to where he can get down on the line like those guys. So he's
Yeah,
kind of the fastball.
Yeah. He's an interesting player. I think. How many sacks did he have last year? Do you guys remember? He had like 7, maybe.
Yeah, I thought it was 6.5, 7, something like that.
Okay. Jack, Eagles countdown. Zachary, what do you guys think?
I think he's going there, but I think if Chase Young has any correlation between how Chase Young played at Ohio State and how he's going to play the first couple years of his NFLs, as an Eagles fan, I'm a little concerned. But I think
You guys think we're going to bring back Jason Peters?
No.
Yes.
how old is he?
My opinion is Howard really likes like Eagles guys. He brought back Brandon Graham. I'm sure he'd resign Jason Kelsey, but he's also reiterated that he really wants to make the team younger, and he also, I'm pretty sure, wants Andre Dillard in that role. And I feel like he might feel like he has to start Jason Peters. I feel like he kind of did this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
But I don't think we're not going to bring him back.
So I'm just gonna throw this out there, and let me look. And Zachary, we'll let you finish as well on the Chase Young thing. I think they should bring back Peters and make him play guard, because he actually wanted to play guard at one point. I think somebody was injured, and he was like, "I'll play guard." I forget it was Brooks or somebody, and he was like, "I'll go in and play guard." Imagine him replacing Sam Alou. Now your Sam Alou is your backup, decent backup. I don't think he's that good of a guard. I know what the people say. He's a
He
he's a
got
good
way
guard.
better this year.
I think he got better, but imagine Jason Peters at guard with Dillard for like a year, and you have Sam Malo as a backup. Tell me that doesn't solidify it. I don't know why no one thinks of this. I don't know why no one has like raised their hand. Why don't you come back and play guard? I don't know. It's just like a natural progression to me. I know he's like a tackle, and we have him in our brain as a tackle. But if he was willing to be guard, I would bring him back in a heartbeat. Zachary, what do you think of Washington and Chase Young? Do you think that's definitely happening, or do you think there's any wiggle room there?
Well, I'll jump into a little bit of both with Jason Peters and the Young. With Young, yeah, I like the Isaiah Simmons pick. That was definitely a curveball. That scheme fit for Ron Rivera's defense would be perfect. It would be a perfect matching for Ron Rivera's defense. But they are going to go Chase Young with the second overall pick. And you got to remember, you got Deron Payne at defensive tackle too. No, everybody kind of skips over him.
That's right. I forgot about him.
They got a big defensive lineman, and I think Ron Rivera is going to stick to making that strength even more. And you just can't contain it, and it scares the hell out of me.
I know.
Looking at our offense, and especially with Dillard coming on for his first full season, and they're going to just terrorize that left side, and I don't like that.
I don't like it either. It's a problem.
I'm definitely in your shoes saying it. I'm definitely pooping my pants on this one with that line coming at us.
Yeah.
Now with Jason Peters, I think they bring him back. Yes, Howie Roseman wants to go younger, which I agree 100%. We were one of the oldest teams in the league last year, one of the most injury prone too, if I will say that.
Oh my God.
But bring him back as a backup to Andre Dillard, and let Dillard learn from Jason Peters. So get his game reps, but he'll also have a future first ballot Hall of Famer in Jason Peters, giving him little tips after every drive, or giving him little tips at practice and stuff like that. Almost, yeah.
I think Jason Peters wants to play. I don't think he's going to be a backup. He won't sign to be a backup at all.
But for Philly, he's made a statement stating he loves being with us. Almost bring him back. If you got to throw him, I like him into guard role, though. It would be very interesting to see him transition to guard and see how well he can play at guard. He's a Hall of Famer at tackle.
I don't know why that doesn't get more discussion, him at guard. I don't know why.
No.
I don't know
as soon as you said that, it went over my head. I was like, yeah, why is this not being said? Why not bring him back, fill that spot in there, give him also – you got him teaching Dillard to give him little hints, especially them being side by side with him on the line. All it could do is add to Dillard's knowledge and help that line out, especially on that left side, being how young and the weaker part of our offensive line, especially when you got guys like Sweat and Young and Deron Payne coming off. I'd put anybody I can get at that side to help out.
I agree. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think we got to keep it moving. Let's go to the next pick. Miami.
Ooh.
No, I'm sorry. Number 3 was
Detroit.
Okay. I'm saying it's Miami because I think there's a trade there. Because I think Miami's scared that either Carolina or San Diego is going to trade up and try to grab Tua. And I know Justin Herbert's been getting more of praise. I think Justin Herbert is a see it and throw it guy. He doesn't throw guys open. I don't think he's a polished quarterback in the least. I don't. I think he's like some weird. He had a few good. He had the good Senior Bowl, and I guess he had a decent pro day or whatever it was, a combine. I forget what it was, but I don't think he's that polished of a prospect. Tua, to me, ceiling is Drew Brees, floor is Mark Brunell. Mark Brunell is his floor, I think.
Throwback.
I know, right? You remember Mark Brunell.
Mhm.
And I think they trade up. I think Miami trades up and takes Tua. And I think that would be the right move for them if they want to secure him. Ideally, if they stay at 5 and get Tua, that's wonderful because they're not losing any picks. But I think they're pooping their pants that somebody's going to scoop them up. And I think that's the pick. I know Mel Kiper was on saying that Miami's going to go Herbert. I don't think so. They've wanted Tua since last year. I think that's a smoking. I think that's a smokescreen. Zachary, what do you think?
I like the trade up with Miami to that 3rd overall pick. I think they're all in on Tua. I think everything else, like you said, is a smokescreen with Herbert and everybody else. But I honestly, I don't want to say they're going to trade up. I say they sit back and Tua will fall to them unless they feel pressure from other teams moving up, which, in my opinion, there's going to be a lot of first-round trade ups this year, including the Eagles. I feel like they're going to move up.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. We'll get to them. But I think the Lions stay there at the 3rd. I think they shore up that cornerback spot since they just traded us big play Slay. I know they got Desmond Trufant there, which is an excellent pickup. I wanted the Eagles to grab him for that other side.
I did too. Oh, he's such a nice player. Though he's a little older, but
yeah, but you match him with Slay, and you got one of the formidable cornerbacks. So we don't have to worry about him, especially with McLeod and Mills sitting at safety now. Give him just a clarity at cornerback, which would have been perfect. But here or there, I think Carolina stays there at number 3 and grabs Jeff Okudah, cornerback at Ohio State. Detroit, excuse me. Yeah, they have to grab him.
If there's no trade, I agree with you. I think they go Okudah. Kevin, what do you think?
If there's no trade, Okudah, I think it's kind of a bluff. I don't think that Miami's actually going to have to move up because in the mock that we did with Ginger Jesus, I had San Diego, the Chargers, LA Chargers. I had San Diego in my
San Diego in my head too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can't be anything else.
Yeah. The Chargers in my book, they're going to take a love, but we'll get to that. But I think Detroit is going to stay put, and they're going to go ahead and get the very best corner in the draft, and that's Okudah. Because they got to make up for a losing Slay. I don't even know why they traded. I think it was something personal between he and the coach.
Yes.
But you need the corner. In today's game, you need the corner. He's the very best. Now, if they could swing that and sucker Miami to get up there and pick up another pick, even better. Because I don't think the next team's going to take Okudah and they'll get the guy that they want and an extra pick. But I think they're going to stay put and take
I can't wait for the Giants pick. But let's keep talking about the Lions pick. Jack, what do you think?
I really think it's really interesting to see, especially with the whole Tua injury thing. If I think Miami can stay where they are and get Tua since he is injured, and I think teams are going to take that into perspective when thinking about either trading up for him or taking him in general. I still think he's a first round pick, but it should be interesting who tries to trade up for him. And in terms of the Lions, I definitely think they need a corner. And I forgot who I was going to pick for them. Oh yeah, exactly what you guys were saying, Nakuba.
Yeah. What about you, Eagles Countdown? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the Dolphins could just stay right where they are. I mean, the only team that I thought would maybe pick Tua other than the Dolphins is the Redskins. We passed that, so I don't really need to get into that.
You could touch on that. I mean, I think the Redskins are actually, if they don't think Dwayne Haskins is the dude, and he's not done anything dumb. It's just like the way I heard rumors that he had trouble with the playbook. He might have had trouble with the playbook, but I know that like the front office wanted Haskins, or there's a report that came out of the front office wanted Haskins, but the coaches did not. So that's probably why he wasn't playing so much in the beginning of the year. And he lit us up.
Maybe
he played well towards the end of the year, I thought. Dwayne Haskins did. I mean, for me, I think Dwayne did enough to keep his job and keep learning. But these are the Redskins, and they're stupid. So stupid teams have stupid ideas. So what's your official take on number 3, Okuda?
Yeah, they're gonna go Okuda. That's just how it is. I mean,
Okay.
he's the third best player, third, fourth best player in the draft. And
Tom, any? Oh, go. I'm sorry for cutting you
yeah,
off. Keep going.
no,
Keep
that's
going.
about it.
That's about it. Okay. Tom, what's your any objections to Okuda? Are we all in agreement?
I agree about Okuda, but I also agree with you about the trade. I think they're going to trade down and still be able to get Okuda. So if you look at the people after them, like you have the Giants. I doubt they're going to draft Okuda. Miami definitely isn't because their secondary is not bad. Then you have the Chargers after that. Their secondary is pretty loaded too. So I think they could be able to trade back, maybe like you said with Miami, and probably still be able to land Okuda.
Okay. So next pick, the New York Giants. I have them picking an offensive lineman because that's the smart move. They have to protect, right, Daniel Jones, but they have an idiot GM who's really stupid, and they could do so. They could take a linebacker. They could take Isaiah Simmons here. I think that's what they could do, but I'm their GM right now, and I think they should take an offensive lineman. If they protected Daniel Jones, he's shown to be very good. In fact, I'll throw this at you. I think Daniel Jones is a better prospect than Joe Burrow. I think he's better than Joe Burrow.
I don't know about that one.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, they're kind of the same player.
They're
They
similar
really,
player for sure. They're very similar. I think both mobile and they're
yeah.
both pretty smart players. I saw Daniel Jones do it, so that's why I'm putting him above Joe Burrow. I saw him do it in the pros with a bad offensive line. His only problem is fumbles. You put an offensive lineman in there, you see him making all these plays with that he did last year. He had a game with 5 touchdowns. He's a very good. He scares me. Daniel Jones scares me more than the Cowboys or the Redskins. The Giants scare me. If they pick right, they pick right. If they're not dumbing it up like they've been doing. So to me, it's Tristan Wirfs. That's why I have as the 4th pick. What do you think, Kevin, about the Giants?
Man, you actually stole my pick from me, man. The reason why I say that is, like you said, Gettleman, he's not the smartest guy, but what we know about him is he loves linemen, particularly defensive linemen. He loves going to the trenches. So, hey, wouldn't mind me if he wasted a pick and got another D lineman, but I don't think he'll do that. I think he is going to go to the offensive line. But man, I gotta disagree with you on the Daniel Jones thing.
It really.
I think Burrow is head and shoulders
You think so?
above him.
All right.
Athletically, I think he's a lot more athletic. But what separates them is he anticipates it a little bit better, and he's got way more pocket presence. Way more pocket presence.
See, okay.
He's calmer in the pocket than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, like you said, he'll fumble, he'll give it to you because he sees ghosts. You know, he kind of happy feet and he gets going and he'll turn that ball over. Burrow's a little bit more steady in the pocket than he is.
My only.
I understand the pro thing. I understand.
Yeah, that's all I'm
But
saying.
we're projecting. So I
Okay.
think Burrow's a better prospect. But Worrell's from Iowa's that's a good pick.
Would you say that Daniel Jones? Because when I saw the Giants pick Daniel Jones and I looked at his college tape, I saw the he had awful stats. He had no team around him, right?
Yes, Duke. Yeah,
Would you say Joe Burrow would have better stats on last year's Duke team that Daniel Jones played on?
I would. And I'll tell you so. I don't know if you guys see my profile on Twitter. I'm a Florida State guy. So
Okay, I did see that. Yeah.
So I see Duke. I see those guys play all the time in the ACC. And like I said, this is why I pick Burrow over him. Just it's that pocket presence. And the coach there, Cutcliffe, man, he can call a system for any quarterback, no matter who it is. I think he would have had a little bit more success with Burrow.
Interesting. You know, now that you say that, I think Joe Burrow might have better pocket presence.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that makes or breaks it, but we'll see. Tom, what do you think about 4 with the Giants? Where are they going?
I think they'd be stupid if they didn't get offensive line. You saw how much,
Yeah,
Daniel Jones had.
obvious.
I don't even know how many fumbles he had last year, but if they can help protect him a little bit, those will go down and everything. I don't think it'll be worse out of Iowa, though. I think it'll be Wills from Alabama.
Oh, Jedrick Wells.
Yeah, Jedrick Wills. From what I've heard, Wirfs is a better athlete, but Wills is a little more well-rounded and ready to play.
Okay, Jack, what do you think?
Going off the Daniel Jones and Joe Burrow thing, I also feel like Joe Burrow has a lot better decision making. I mean, he was around a better offense, yes, but I think his decision making and pocket presence, like you guys are saying, is better than Daniel Jones. I hope the hell that. Oh, I'm not. I really hope that translates to the NFL. But in terms of this pick, I definitely think they're going with that Alabama offensive lineman, just because I believe I was watching something today. The Joe Judge is part of that Nick Saban. What do you call that?
Coaching tree.
Yeah, and I feel like he'll be. And what they said that he'll be more comfortable picking an Alabama guy than because of that.
Okay.
I don't
We'll
know.
skip that.
I really feel like they're just gonna go with Isaiah Simmons. I mean, this is the fourth pick we're talking about.
I hope so. I really do, because I don't think the linebacker makes that big of a difference. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You don't pick for need at the fourth draft pick. You pick for that generational talent, and that's what Isaiah Simmons is, or that's what he appears that he could be.
Okay, Zach.
The Giants are a big pile of mess, and it all depends on who is actually making the picks in that front office. Is it Gettleman, or is Joe Judge have a decision in this? It all depends, because Gettleman is going to go after whoever puts more fans in the stands, and that's going to be Isaiah Simmons. If Joe Judge has any ability to help out or any say in who they pick, they're going Tristan Wirfs, because they needed offensive linemen badly. They already kind of addressed the linebacker position of free agents with the signing of Blake Martinez, which I thought was a very
I
underrated.
didn't know they got him. I missed that.
Yeah, they picked up Blake Martinez. I think it was on like a 3-year, $36 million. Don't quote me on that. So I think they have to go offensive lineman. I think that pick is going to be Tristan Wirfs, because he's a little mobile, and I think that fits very good in what they do in the offense with Barkley and screen game and the Daniel Jones kind of ability to get out of the pocket. They need somebody that's going to be able to stay in front of them and under different circumstances, especially with Daniel Jones coming out of the pocket. His abilities are be able to get out and block in front of him still and move with Daniel Jones.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Offensive lineman for the Giants just is too obvious for me. I get Isaiah Simmons is an amazing talent. I hope I'm of the belief that linebackers don't make a difference unless they play for the Steelers, because the Steelers always their linebackers are just always making plays, whether it's Ryan Shazier before he got injured, and I think they had Josh. Who's the linebacker they had last year? They have Bud Dupree, and then they have a few other guys. They're all linebackers that are always getting sacks on the Steelers. But whatever. One quick note: in 6 minutes, this Zoom meeting is going to die. I'll send another link right after. They're 40 minutes and they die, so I'll send a link to the message thing right after. Just jump back on. With the 5th pick, the Miami Dolphins, if they stay there, are going Tua, and if they don't, if it's Detroit in my trade situation, then Detroit will go Jeff Okudah. I don't know how much we need. Are we all in agreement that the Miami's going Tua, or do we have?
Yeah, I don't think we're talking about this one that much.
So I'm not going to expand too much about it. We're all in agreement. Tua's there. I just want to say Tua, like I said to me, who's your comparison? You guys heard me, Brunell or Breeze? Kevin, who do you think Tua is in the pros?
He's a more athletic Drew Brees. Absolutely.
Okay, we're in agreement. Tom, what do you think?
Absolutely. Yep.
Jack?
I'd have to agree with that.
Eagles countdown, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question.
Drew Brees?
You put me on the spot a little bit there, but I'm going to say, Drew Brees, especially with his throwing motion and his ability to sense the pocket.
I feel like he's razor sharp. I feel like to me, again, he's better than Burrow if he's not injured. All right, moving on to the Chargers pick. Now, this is an interesting spot. I have them taking Justin Herbert. I love Tyrod Taylor. First of all, as a quarterback, I absolutely love Tyrod Taylor. That is my dude. He took the Bills to the playoffs before they were like competent. He took them to the playoffs. I think that's a great guy to have to start for a year. If Justin Herbert's going to sit behind him for even a half a year or a year, that's a great situation for him. And I have Justin Herbert going there. I don't like him at all as a prospect. I just think that's what's going to happen. Tom, what do you think?
I actually don't think they're going to go with the quarterback at number 6
Oh,
because I don't think Justin Herbert is going to be that good of a quarterback. I think he might be able to in the future if he is able to sit behind somebody for a couple years. But I feel like with how the Chargers roster is set up, they're not going to really look for somebody to sit behind for a couple years. I haven't seen really a single mock draft that have the Chargers taking this guy. But I think they're going to go with Jerry Jeudy because they did a really good job stacking up their offensive line and defensive line.
Okay.
And other than Keenan Allen, they really don't have. I mean, Mike Williams isn't bad, but I think Jeudy would look great on the other side of Keenan.
Yeah. What do you think, Kevin? I see your face, bro. You're surprised.
Woo! Man, Tom's coming with it. Like,
I know,
oh, man,
I know.
You bringing some stuff tonight, man. This is woo. I would have never anticipated that.
And I don't have any mock that I've read, and I've been reading them
Yeah, I've
like
never
every day
seen one.
going with Jeudy. I don't, because it's not like a need. You know what I mean? Well, I know teams generally shouldn't be going by need. They just go by best available. He fits that bill. I just think they need a quarterback, and if they value Herbert like a lot of people do. What do you guys think, Jack? Eagles fan, Zachary?
I think I'm actually going to agree with you, Hubert.
Yeah.
I love Tyrod Taylor. My family is a Bills fan, so I have appreciation for that. But I think Justin Herbert, Justin Herbert, he can sit, but I feel like I feel like he could possibly emerge and maybe midway through this year take over. That'd be probably ideal for the Chargers, and I think they just absolutely need a quarterback after Philip Rivers.
So who's your pick at
left.
6?
Herbert.
Okay, so we're in agreement. Eagles countdown?
Me personally, I think they don't go with Herbert, or they could. I have that in one of my mock drafts, but in another one, which I think is the more realistic pick, because I just don't think Herbert's the guy. I don't think they do it either. There are other good quarterbacks like Jordan Love. He's getting a lot of look at recently. So I feel like that they could possibly trade into the first round with maybe their second pick. I don't really have that one like mapped out in my head, but maybe the top 30 to 32 they could get in. Maybe not the Patriots pick because they might want the same thing, but I think they take an offensive tackle here, Jedarick Wills. I know he was said before for maybe the Giants pick, but if he reaches there, that's what I think.
Okay, I don't think that a lineman is always a safe pick. So that's actually not I could see that too. This thing is gonna die in 1 minute and 30 seconds. So Zachary, was that you just now?
No.
That was
Go
me.
ahead. Tell me your take, Zach.
All right, so this is my thing here. There's 3 teams that are gonna definitely be all in for the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes at number 1 next year, and that's gonna be the Patriots, the Chargers, and the Panthers. And I think the Chargers are not going to take a quarterback here. They're going to take the guy that is sliding all the way to them, and that's Isaiah Simmons, and give them the most athletic defensive backs and linebackers in the game today, adding with Harris Jr., Hayward, Derwin James, and Isaiah Simmons, and Melvin Ingram, and all of them, and give them one of the most stacked defenses in the NFL.
Joey Bosa
and Joey Bosa.
Oh yeah.
That is not a bad pick. So we had a little bit of a technical issue when recording the mock, and the middle section picks 6 through 16 or 7 through 16 got deleted. So the guys will be right back. I'm going to go over what I picked on the mock, and then from the Cowboys pick on, the guys will be back and we'll be doing more analyzing. So this is just my mock. With the 8th pick, I have the Cardinals going with the 7th pick. I have the Carolina Panthers going with Isaiah Simmons. Natural fit. He's a really good player, and I associate the Panthers, and I know it's a new coaching staff, but I associate the Panthers with linebackers, Kuechly, Thomas Davis. I just think he falls there. I don't know why my brain. He's probably going to go to the Giants or something, but I think linebackers. I think Carolina, even though it's a new culture there. Arizona, Jedrick Wells. They're going to need to protect Kyler Murray, so that's an obvious pick. Jacksonville is going to go Jerry Jeudy in my mock. They are going to surround the up-and-coming Gardner Minshew with a weapon that he will be able to grow with. Now, the guys in our previously recorded, not saved mock thought that maybe the Jaguars were going to go with somebody else because the consensus was that maybe the Jags were going to tank for Trevor Lawrence, which is also possible. But in this magical world, I have Jerry Jeudy with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Browns are going to go with an offensive tackle. I have Mekhi Becton, but we generally agreed that it's going to be an offensive lineman. The Jets, in my mock, are going to go CeeDee Lamb, but there was one thought that maybe the Eagles were going to trade up with the Jets, since Howie knows Doug, and grab CeeDee Lamb for the Eagles. So this was one trade up that one of the gentlemen suggested, and I wouldn't mind it. I just don't know what the compensation is going to be from 21 to 10 or 11 to get CeeDee Lamb. So that's where I have a problem with it. But CeeDee Lamb, I think, falls here to the Jets. I know there's also some rumors that they're going to go offensive lineman as well. If that means CeeDee Lamb falls a little lower and we might get him, great. But I think that's the pick, CeeDee Lamb to the Jets. Henry Ruggs to the Raiders. He's going to stretch the field, give Derek Carr, open up the field for all those other guys. And, Waller and Hunter Renfrow are going to, go feast on everybody once Henry Ruggs stretches the field. So that's where I have the Raiders, splash pick. Las Vegas Raiders are going to make a pick here with Henry Ruggs. San Francisco, Derek Brown is going to replace DeForest Buckner. A lot of guys also thought that this was a spot for a wide receiver. I'm not going to fight him about that. Tampa Bay, Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle. I think the Bucs are going to try to protect Tom Brady for the next year or two, and investing in the offensive line is always a smart idea. I think a lot of the guys agreed this was the pick. Denver, I have Javon Kinlaw, defensive end. Will go well with Von Miller. And I have Atlanta taking C.J. Henderson to replace the departure of, I think his name is Marcus Trufant. If it's not Marcus, it's Trufant. It's one of the Trufant guys. And that's about it. We are going to come right back with the rest of the guys of the Dallas pick. So stay tuned for that.
So I think now it could be Lloyd Cushenberry out of LSU or Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan. I've heard they both have similar grades overall. So I think it'll be either one of those centers, whichever one they prefer.
Okay, so you're thinking center. That's a good pick, actually. That would be a logical pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Who hasn't gone yet? Zach, have you gone for the Cowboys?
We're all good.
Is Luke?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Jack?
Yep, I went.
All right, so the next pick is the Miami Dolphins again. I have them going offensive line to protect their newly minted quarterback. Josh Jones is who I have there. Zach, what do you got?
Same. Whoever's the best offensive lineman available at that current moment, they've got to shore up that line. Like you said, for Tua, they got the weapons. Their defense is okay with all the additions they spent. So, offensive lineman.
Kevin, what do you got? Who do you got, Miami?
Yeah, I go offensive tackle out of USC. Austin Jackson.
Austin Jackson. Okay.
You got to protect the new franchise.
Yeah, absolutely right. Jack.
Same thing. Got to protect Tua or whichever quarterback they take. Whoever's the best offensive lineman at that spot,
Luke.
I think they'll take.
I agree with you guys. I think best offensive tackle there is. I also think if one of the big three is not there or is still there, they'll go for them. I don't think they will be, but in one of my mock drafts, CD Lamb kind of fell just based on needs of other teams, more pressing needs. But I don't think they will. I think they go with offensive tackle.
What are we going with the Raiders at 19? I have them going with Trayvon Diggs. I think that's a nice player at that spot, the third best corner. He's clearly the third best, but he's got some technique, and I think from what I remember reading and watching, he's got some. He doesn't track the ball well with his back to the ball. He's not great at just I guess specifically I remember reading like if you throw a fade on him, he's not good at finding the ball in the air like that. But other than that, he's a good corner when he's got his head turned. So Trayvon Diggs is my guy to the Raiders. Luke, what do you got to the Raiders?
Personally, I think they'll take the best inside tackle they can get. I think Javon Kinlaw could fall to there. I think they take a tackle, really shore up that defensive line with Khalil Mack.
Okay, Jack, what do you got?
I'm with you on this one. I think they take a cornerback, whichever out of those top four corners are left. I think they prove their secondary.
Okay, what about Zach? What do you got for me with the?
I'm in agreement.
Raiders.
They're going to go cornerback there. I have Christian Fulton falling to them. Just pure need for them. They know they don't have too many. I don't really know who they got a cornerback to start in. But Christian Fulton's there. They see an opportunity. They see the cornerbacks coming off. So they pull that trigger on Christian Fulton.
Kevin?
I'm with Zach on that one. I'm going Fulton. I think Fulton falls here. I pick him, not necessarily he's a better corner than Diggs, but I think he's the kind of guy that John Gruden would like. He's got that bravado. He's got that attitude coming from LSU, and that's the type of player that John Gruden would like. And that Raiders defense needs a little bit of attitude, a little bit of life. So I got him going there.
Thomas?
I agree with Kevin. I think Javon Diggs. I think John Gruden would love his style of play.
Yeah. All right, Jacksonville at 20, and we're getting close to the Eagles pick. I have them going Austin Jackson to shore up the offensive line. I don't know Austin Jackson that well. I read about him. He seems to be he's another tackle that would fall in that first round. But
he's got good feet. He's got really good feet. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like a guy the Eagles would probably like if they were drafting offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Luke, what do you got with Jacksonville?
I think if he falls all the way to here, which he probably won't, if he doesn't go top 7, Justin Herbert. Like I already said, I don't really believe in Minshew mania, so I think that if he falls all the way to here, Justin Herbert's the guy for them.
Justin Herbert to Jacksonville. Okay, Jack.
That's really interesting. I don't think I'm going to have to agree with people that said offensive line. I think they build around Minshew, and at the very least, they're in contention for Trevor Lawrence next year.
And his mustache. We all love his mustache. Kevin,
I had Jacksonville going offensive line tackle help earlier at their pickup in the top 10 there. So I have Kinlaw falling there, going Kinlaw at defensive tackle to replace Calais Campbell.
Zach.
Seeing I think they're going to be one of the Trevor Lawrence. I think they're going to start building that offensive line up. I think they're going to solidify that offensive line before Trevor Lawrence gets there.
Okay, makes sense. Tom, anything?
I think that I'm going to have Christian Fulton falling to them. I think, losing Ramsey and Boye, you got to put somebody back there.
Yeah. All right, guys. The moment we've all been waiting for is here. I'm going to drum roll. I'm going to go first. I have the Eagles trading down with the Ravens. And my Ravens pick is A.J. Espina, defensive end. It just seems like John Harbaugh picks linemen. Yeah. I think they go lineman with a line with a defensive end.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry.
AJ Espina is the pick at for the Ravens at 21 in my draft. We're gonna start with Thomas on the Eagles pick at 21, who they haven't traded yet in your draft.
I actually have LaVisca Chenault going there. I was watching like a bunch of his film and stuff yesterday, and boy, he's such explosive. Like, it reminds me a lot of like kind of a mix between Julio Jones and Jarvis Landry. And like, I was watching clips of him, and they put him at running back, put him at wildcat formations, jet sweeps, inside, outside, and he was really the only really good offensive weapon that Colorado had. So like the defense
Knew to focus on him.
double covering him, sometimes triple covering him, and he was still catching the ball and
He
taking
had 88 catches and like 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns his junior. I think it was his junior year, while playing I think 8 games or something like that, or 9 games. Look up the stats.
I watched a replay of the Colorado USC game, and he was playing through abdominal injury, and he had about 200 scrimmage yards.
Ridiculous. All right, Luke, who do you have going to the Eagles at 21?
I mean, I think we're gonna get everyone the one that everyone says, Justin Jefferson. I think he falls to us, and Howie doesn't hesitate to get him.
Okay, Jack, what do you got?
Yeah, I like the Justin Jefferson. He's a very, especially what he did with LSU, obviously different league, but I really hope he can do the same thing with the Eagles.
Kevin.
I have us staying put and taking a wide receiver, and this is my scenario if Dallas didn't take him. But I think they're going to go Jalen Reagor, wide receiver TCU.
I'll live with that. That's fine.
Explosive guy. That's one of the things when you watch him on tape, he is explosive. He attacks the ball. And only being 5'11", he jumped like 40-something vert. He attacks the ball. He's explosive, and I think he's a better route runner than what people give him credit for. And he had, a freshman quarterback that was just god awful. If you watch him, he's waiting on the ball. He's open. They're not getting it to him. And there's a little familial connection there. His dad played for us before, Monte Reagan, right?
Yeah.
So you got the inside connect. He's got Eagles ties. I know for a fact the Eagles, they've checked in on him more than your normal prospect. There's another guy, I'm surprised you guys didn't say that they've been checking on also. Another receiver out of Texas, But I think they go with the explosion.
Zach.
I'm in agreement. See if we're still here, because I had them trading up to number 9. If they're still here, I know they're looking at, they're talking about Patrick Queen. You're talking about Kenneth Murray, a linebacker. If all 4 of the top fall out. But I have to go here. Coach Moorhead has been FaceTiming him more than any prospect out there. Like previously, Dad used to play for us. You have to go Jalen Reagor. Get that speed in there, and also tenacity to go up and get the ball away from defenders.
I don't think anyone's going to cry about Jalen Reagor or Justin Jefferson, or they might cry about Laviska Shenault because he's not that popular. But I won't, because I've been tweeting away on Twitter and getting burned alive with hate about Shenault.
I think he falls to us in the second round. Just saying.
If he did,
I think he does.
He's going early. Early second.
Yeah. Hopefully we get him, but.
What? Okay, you heard me and Thomas. What do you guys love so much? The one thing that I don't like about him is, man, he doesn't run any routes. Just zero.
I don't know enough about his route tree, but I can tell you that after the catch, he's an absolute beast.
Yes.
Which to me is enough to just, Coach Peterson will figure out how to get him the ball. And I see a lot of Terrell Owens in that kid.
Okay.
That's what I see about him.
Yeah, definitely to feed off of that. Even though his route tree is very limited because of the mediocre play from the rest of the offense.
Yes.
If he's that good with just a simple route tree, imagine a good coach behind him giving him the tools to be successful on every route, and he could stay durable. That's my only knock on him is
Yes.
durability.
Yes.
If he could stay you're talking about a 1,300-yard guy, probably 10 touchdowns a year.
I agree. I agree. That's a lot of people don't see it though. Kevin, no, a lot of people are like, I don't see it with this guy.
No, he's
Um,
got
Yeah,
the
if we-
talent. He's got the talent.
with
Now, if we
21.
had Mike Groh as our offensive coordinator,
Oh, no.
he couldn't get Golden Tate the ball, so I wouldn't trust him with LaVisca.
No.
But now that he's gone,
Yeah, I still thought Golden Tate could have given us more juice. I don't know. The Vikings are going to go with Justin Jefferson in my mock. Thomas, what do you got?
I'm sorry, what team?
I have the Vikings going with Justin Jefferson at 22.
I actually have Jalen Rager going to them. I think he'd be
Luke.
right after Chenault.
Who do you got going with
I
the Vikings?
got Jeff Gladney, cornerback TCU.
Ooh,
I think they really. I mean, their defense is good, but it's an old secondary. It's really old, and they're just getting up there. And I think that they pick Jeff Gladney.
plus they lost a bunch of guys. They
Yeah.
lost the safety and the corner, Wayne. Jack, who do you got going with Vikings?
I like the Gladney pick. I feel like there's not a viable wide receiver left. That's not like a second round guy that can play. I mean, the Vikings do need a wide receiver, but I feel like if you can get a cornerback with first round talents, then I feel like they should do that.
Kevin, the Vikings are going with
I see them going corner, and I had Diggs falling here. I think the Vikings are going to
Diggs.
go Diggs.
yeah, that makes sense. Zach, what do you got?
I'm going with the guy that's gained the most ground in the shortest amount of time. A lot of Eagles fans have wanted him, which personally I don't see it to the full extent, but I see it. I see Denzel Mims going here, seeing that, top 5 wide receivers who went. They're starting to sweat a little bit with the wide receiver not getting a top 5 guy. I think Mims is there. I think they pull that trigger.
I also don't hate Kirk Cousins. Thomas, who do you got going with the Vikings?
I already said
You
Rager.
already said Rager. I'm sorry. Okay, I get confused with who went. The Patriots are going to draft Jordan Love in my draft. They're going to replace Tom Brady with Jordan Love falling that low. Some people have Justin Herbert falling that low. I don't see it, but Jordan Love is going to the Patriots, and Bill Belichick is going to go win playoff games with him. Kevin, what do you think?
Man, you stole some of my thunder, man. I had him going either way. If Love is there, I can see that. The only reason I don't see it right now, he's been playing up the Jared Stidham thing. Coach Belichick's been pumping him. He's giving him a nickname. He called him Stid or Stiddy, something like that. Usually when he's very comfortable and playing nicknames with quarterbacks, like he did with guy in San Francisco, he kind of likes him, so I think he's going to stay there. So I actually have them going outside linebacker DN kind of slash thing with AJ Epinesa from Iowa.
Espina. I wrote
Epicena, I forgot how to say his name.
Espinosa. Yeah,
Fast
you're
rusher
right. I
out of
said it
Iowa.
wrong.
Yeah.
Jack, who do you got going to the
I like Jordan Love. I think he slides in and
takes over Brady?
and replaces Brady. Yeah,
Luke, who do you got going to the Patriots?
I also think they'll draft Jordan Love. I just think they need somebody. They need somebody, and I know that Belichick can do anything with any quarterback, but I don't think he can do much with what he has now.
Tom, what do you got?
I also think
go ahead.
that
I'm
they
sorry.
could
I'm sorry, Luke.
What?
Keep going, Luke. I'm sorry I cut you off.
I also think that they could take Jalen Reagor here. I mean, even if they do have to develop these quarterbacks, it's nice to have a fresh, young wide receiver here.
Yeah, they haven't had weapons ever.
Yet they still win.
Cincinnati, they still win. They cheat. I know they cheat somehow. Tom, who do you got going to the Patriots?
I believe, like Kevin said, I believe Bill Belichick is gonna try and see what he can do with Jarrett Stidham. So I don't see them going with a quarterback here. I think they're gonna go Kenneth Murray, linebacker from Oklahoma, because they lost Kyle Van Noy and they lost Jamie Collins in free agency. So I think he'd go with Murray to help replace those two.
Yeah, that's another team where linebackers are actually used, unlike the Eagles. So I saw mock drafts where the Eagles were going to get Patrick Queen. The Eagles won't go with a linebacker until the fourth round. I promise you that. Zach, did you pick the Patriots?
No, I'm going to be in agreement. Kenneth Murray there. Kyle Van Noy is a big loss to them. They did so much with Kyle Van Noy. I think they do the same thing with Kenneth Murray. So that's their pick.
All right. So with the 24th pick, I got the Vikings going Kenneth Murray. Zach, who do you have going to the Vikings? I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry. It's the Saints pick.
that's
Kenneth
what
Murray
I
going
okay.
to the Saints.
Uh, since Kenneth Murray's off the board on my mock draft, I'm going Patrick Queen. They definitely need that was their weak spot on that defense. They pulled the trigger on Patrick Queen.
Tom, what do you got?
I see them going Jordan Love here because I think Breeze is going to hang up the cleats after this year. And they had Teddy Bridgewater, and I think they were hoping to re-sign him. But since he went to Carolina, I think they're going to get Jordan Love or Justin Herbert, whoever they like.
Luke, who you got?
I got one of the best two linebackers, Patrick Queen or Kenneth Murray. Or, 2 and 3,
Kevin, who you got? I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off, Luke. I don't know why. Jesus, go ahead.
You're good. Yeah, I got Patrick Queen here. I
Yeah,
just
Patrick.
think they haven't had good linebackers in a while, and I think that they finally pulled the trigger on one of these.
Okay. Jack.
I'm gonna have to agree with that on Patrick Murray and just the linebacker thing. I think the upgrade and linebacker.
Kevin, what do you got?
I'm in agreement with these guys. Got the homegrown talent right there in the backyard of LSU. Patrick Queen, he's a big time upgrade over our old friend Kiko Alonso.
I really had high hopes for Kiko after he picked up off Matt Ryan that first year that everyone did.
Maybe this was okay.
I also thought Sam Bradford was the future. We had our quarterback in Sam Bradford after that Atlanta game where he was lighting. He played well. He threw a lot of. I was sold on Sam Bradford. Jeez, that was
Sammy
stupid.
Sleeves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vikings at 25. I have Christian Fulton going there. Zach, what do you got?
I'm going cornerback. This was a little difficult spot for me. Seeing the top three cornerbacks are off the board, they got to go from TCU. Jeff Galladay. I think that's another spot they were sore at, and they lost a couple of key pieces. So it's definitely an added feature for them.
Tom, what do you got?
I doubt he dropped down this low, but maybe they pick him with the other pick and then they get another receiver here. But I see them drafting Javon Kinlaw. They lost Linval Joseph in free agency, and I think they're going to have to – and they lost Everson Griffin. So I definitely think they're going to go defensive line to help get some of their pass rush back.
There's always a guy that slips in this draft. There'll be an unexpected dude that falls. Luke, what do you got?
I think they go D-line. Minnesota loves their D-lineman. I think they go Nevin Gallimore out of Oklahoma. He's just a straight hustle guy, and I just think he can – I just think he can really shore up that defensive line for them, which is already very good.
Jack, what do you got?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Like I said, the first time we did Minnesota, I feel like if they do need a wide receiver, but I feel like that time has kind of passed, and we'll get them in their next round pick. So I think they go defensive line, corner.
Kevin, did you go with the Vikings?
Me?
Yeah.
All right, so it can go either way, but I think I'm going to throw the curveball. Pass rusher, I can see it, but I'm throwing the curveball here. I think the Vikings need a wide receiver to place Diggs, and they got a guy that looks just like him, athletic out of his breaks, and I think they're going to go Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver, Arizona State.
Interesting. Yeah, they're definitely going to go with the receiver. I think we're all in agreement with that. With the 26th pick, I have Miami taking Denzel Mims. That's the guy I have going to Miami. Tom, who do you got going to Miami?
So I know it's high to draft a player of this position, but I have them going DeAndre Swift, running back from Georgia.
Okay. Zach, who do you got?
I got the same. I got DeAndre Swift. They've got their quarterback. They got their offensive lineman. got to get the running back. I know they got just signed our man Jordan Howard, which I loved him in Philly. But Jordan Howard's not your number one. You get DeAndre Swift. I think he's really undervalued. He's going to come out, and he's going to come out with at least 900 yards and at least 5 or 6 touchdowns this year.
Kevin,
I'm in agreement with those guys. I think they're going to go DeAndre Swift running back.
Jack.
Yeah, I like that. I feel I have to agree with you guys. I feel like DeAndre Swift definitely upgrades that offense.
Okay.
And I forgot about the Jordan Howard move.
Yeah, I forgot about it too, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely like a switch up back. He's like a bruiser. Luke.
I'll be honest. I thought it was gonna be a hot take to get DeAndre Swift there, but I mean, just to
It was
say
to me,
someone
if it
else.
makes you feel better. I didn't think of DeAndre Swift to the Dolphins at all. I forgot they lost Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, I think that would be a great pick for them. That's who I have also. I also think they could take a safety, Grant Delpit. Really get that secondary moving. Ever since Fitzpatrick left, and God, I wanted Fitzpatrick so badly. But I think they have to go Swift or Grant Delpit.
Okay. With the Seahawks pick, this could be the Laviska Shenault first-round pick landing spot if it's not the Eagles, or it's not going to be the Eagles, but I think that's where he can go in the first round. But I have them going with Xavier McKinney, safety from, I think it's Alabama or Oklahoma. I forget what school you went to, but Xavier McKinney to Seattle for me. Zach, what do you got?
Seeing that news just broke that they had a couple conference calls with Southern Illinois safety Jeremy Chin, which I love. He's a bruiser. They got to upgrade that defensive line a little bit more. And I see Penn State's own, don't kill me on this name thing. It's Yetur Gross something. Matos, there you go. I think he falls, and I think they've been eyeing him since the beginning of the draft, and he falls right to them, and they pull that trigger.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jadeveon Clowney. Kevin, what do you got?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, no, I'm Zach. I'm with you, man. You can jump back in there. I'm with you. I think they go Gross Matos. They need that pass because we don't know what's going on with Jadeveon and the amount of money he's asking for. And they need someone to come off that edge. And this guy, he's got what the Seattle likes, those longer, linky kind of disruptive guys you just can't get a handle on off the end. I think they go pass rusher with Gross Matos.
Thomas?
I'm going with a pass rusher, but not Yetur Gross Matos. And don't kill me on this name, but who you have the Ravens trading up for, AJ Espinosa, or however you want to say.
Yeah, that's cool. Luke, what do you got?
I also think they go pass rusher inside a defensive lineman. I think they could if he falls to here. I think I had him going one less. Nevin Gallimore. I just think that they need to get their defensive line in check, and I think he can start it.
Jack? Who do you have going to Seattle?
Yeah, I like the pass rusher move. I think, especially if they ship out Clowney, they're gonna need someone to replace him.
Okay. Everybody went on Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my Eagles pick is 28 because remember they traded down with the Ravens, and and I read an article by our favorite beat writer Elliot Shore-Parks, who I'm sure everyone probably heard of, and he said that the Eagles value the lines, and historically I posted this on Twitter. 12 of the last 20 years, the Eagles went D-line or O-line. They valued that their classic offensive and defensive line guys. The more I think about it, and now learning that Jason Kelce is coming back, Cesar Ruiz, who I think the Eagles are going to pick, is maybe not the pick, but I have him going to the Eagles at 28 when they move down. And I think it's because Jason Kelce just looks like he's going to retire any minute, even though he just said he's coming back. I feel like he's about to break. And the smart move is to think forward with regards to your offensive line. And you build from the lines out. So Cesar Ruiz, from what I understand, is a phenomenal athlete. He's very good as a center. And if the Cowboys don't pick him, I think it's going to be the Eagles at 28 after they trade down and recoup what they lost in the Slay trade. So that's why I have going to the Eagles. And who do you guys have the Ravens picking at 28? I'll start with Tom.
So if, for example, if Cesar Ruiz goes to Dallas at 17, I think they're going to go with Lloyd Cushenberry out of LSU and put him at right guard since they lost Marshall Yanda. But really, I mean, Ravens had a really underrated offseason. Their roster is pretty loaded, so they could pretty much go with any position, I think, on this one.
Oh, man. Do you guys think Lamar Jackson is good, or is he just a running back that could throw the ball a little bit? Because I don't think he's the minute he gets injured and he has to play from the pocket, and I know I'm switching topics here, Lamar Jackson is just a very average to below average quarterback. I don't see it. He's Robert Griffin. He's not Russell Wilson that he can run and throw really well. He's not that guy. I think he's literally 2 years out from, unless he improved dramatically, which I don't see it. If you look at Lamar's his combine film, it's awful. It's I can play better in the combine. I swear to you, I can throw the ball better. Lamar is not. I know it's hard. It's not the popular pick, but he's not a good quarterback. The Titans totally exposed that team. If you make him throw and he has to play from behind, he's not capable of winning you games. I'm not going to say anything else. I think he's a great kid. I think he's super talented physically and all that stuff. He's not a thrower, though. He's not a quarterback yet. Ravens are picking who, Zach?
This one, see, they're pretty loaded. I'm going to say best person off the board. I'm saying they look at that safety, really just shore up that safety position. I say this is where Grant Dupree falls to. Definitely solidify that backfield. Just give them the best player off the board at that point.
All right, Kevin?
Man, I agree with a lot of what you said, especially like, Florida State guy, I got to see Lamar Jackson up close and personal. And we actually, one of the years there before they totally blew us out, we did a number on him with the defensive. And I think, man, some of that game plan that Tennessee used, I think they went back and watched Florida State tape because we used Derwin James to spy him, and we shut a lot of that down. He's gotten a little bit better with some of his anticipation, but you got to think that they've catered the whole entire offense to do what he does, and that's what's a little bit different about him. But man, the Delpit pick that was a nice one to have both those. He and who's the back there. That's tremendous. But I think they're going to go pass rusher, and I got him going with the hybrid guy from Wisconsin, which is Zach Baun.
Okay, guys, we got 10 minutes on this Zoom, and I want to try to get through all the picks. Jack, who you got?
Yeah, I think. All right, I'm just gonna skip to Lamar just in just time. I think they go edge rusher. I saw something on a mock draft that had them taking Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin, which I thought was really interesting. But I don't really think it's practical with Lamar is basically another running back, and they have Mark Ingram already in the backfield.
Luke, who do you got?
I think they take Kenneth Murray if he falls to here. They love their linebackers in Baltimore, and unlike you, I think it was you, Hubert. I think that you're the one that said that you don't think linebackers really change the game. I disagree. I think
Depends on the scheme, but I generally don't believe in linebackers. It really depends on the scheme, though.
Yeah, I think that Baltimore is made for that type of play, and I think that a really good linebacker could really change the game. So I think they either go with a running back here or Kenneth Murray.
Tom, did you go yet?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. We got 8 minutes left in the rest of this, so let's just try to keep the reasoning to just pretty quick. Player and like a quick sentence. 29, we got the Titans. I have them going with Brandon Ayuk, the receiver out of Arizona State. Thomas, what do you got?
I have them going Patrick Queen. from LSU.
Okay. Zach, what do you got?
I got him going Kinlaw. He's a tackle. They lost Jarrell Casey, so you might as well replace him.
Kevin, what do you got?
Defensive tackle Ross Blaylock, TCU.
Jack, what do you got?
I'm going Gallimore with defensive lineman.
Luke, I don't think I asked you. Go ahead.
You didn't ask me. I think they go Yetur Gross Matos.
Okay. The Green Bay Packers are going to go with Yetur Gross Matos in my draft. Tom.
I have T. Higgins going here.
T. Higgins in the first round. He seems to have fallen out of favor. Zach.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go probably T. Higgins. This is where he falls, even though I
Okay.
want him.
Kevin.
Denzel Mims. Wide
Green
receiver.
Bay. They need him. Jack.
I like the wide receiver move and T. Higgins.
Okay. Luke.
I got Ross Blacklock.
Ross Blacklock. Is he offensive lineman?
Yeah, no, he's a
D tackle.
D
inside.
tackle. Okay, I knew he was one of the lines. All right. The Niners. I have Patrick Queen falling to the Niners, and you know they're going to take him because they pick the best athletes. Zach, what do you got?
Skip over me because I got to redo this one.
Tom.
This is where I have Ross Blacklock going. That will replace Buckner.
Kevin.
I got him going offensive line, Cesar Ruiz.
Okay. Jack.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with the season, Ruiz.
Luke.
I think they go Justin Matabuke. Same reasoning as Tom had. Just pair up with DeForest Buckner. Really get it.
Okay.
I don't think the Buckner's on the team. Never mind.
All right. For the last pick, I got the Chiefs going Gross. No, I have them going Swift. They need a running back outside of Damian Williams. Tom, what do you got?
I have a running back going here, but I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire going here
Zach.
from LSU.
I got Jonathan Taylor falling here. Solidify that run game.
Kevin.
Taylor also running back.
Jack.
I also have Taylor.
Luke.
I got J.K. Dobbins.
All right. So what we're gonna do with the rest of this, we have 5 minutes. I'm gonna go through and tell you what who I think the Eagles are gonna go with the rest of their picks. I have them going KJ Hamler in the second round. I don't love them, but I think they're going offensive line and then a receiver in the second round. Then I have them going with Jabari Zanuga. Then I have them going with Devin Duvernay, receiver out of Tennessee. Then I have them going AJ Green, defensive back out of I forget where. Logan Wilson out of, I think, Wisconsin. And then I have them going AJ Dillon out of Boston College. And then I have Chris Miller going in the sixth round out of Baylor. I think he's a hard hitter. I don't know how good he is in coverage. But those are my picks. They're going the rest of the way for the Eagles. Zach, the floor is yours.
All right, seeing that I have CeeDee Lamb going in the first, me trading up to get him. Second round, I don't see Logan Wilson fall. I know they're in love with him. I think they pulled the trigger in the second round with him. Third round, they're going to pull Van Jefferson, the route running guru from Florida. Fourth round, depending on if they're trading up, depending on what kind of assets they use, I see him grabbing another tight end and Thaddeus Moss, maybe towards the end of the fourth. Another outside linebacker to kind of tail off, have some outside, I think like Kamara from Missouri, if I'm correct. And Cole Hamlin, the quarterback from Hawaii, is going to go in the fifth round. Sixth round, they're going to pull John Runyon Jr. and put him at guard.
Kevin.
I really, after the first two picks, I'm just taking, hey man, we need to fill in some needs. So I'll just throw on one in there. I like the Logan guy, linebacker. I think we need a linebacker just to solidify the defense. After that, I'm taking whatever the needs are. I don't have too many people that I'm just banking on. I want the receiver and the linebacker, and I'm good.
Okay. Tom, what do you got?
Don't know a lot of later round prospects, but one player that I think is super underrated through all of this is Damon Arnett, cornerback from Ohio State.
He's a very good player.
I think he's going to be a really, really good pro. And then, like Zach said, I'd love if we could get Thaddeus Moss in the fourth. I think that'd be great. And then a linebacker that I really like that'll be in one of the later rounds is Akeem Davis Gaither
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Appalachian State.
yeah.
I think he's going to be a real nice player too.
Luke, what do you got?
I got them trading up in the second round to reassure that they get KJ Hamler. I just think that he's that speedy guy that they need, and I think that they're willing to do anything to do it. I think they only give up maybe, I'd say their 2021 or third, and maybe a 2021 fourth.
Okay. Jack, what do you got?
I do like the KJ Hamler pick. I feel like they definitely need someone linebacker or edge rusher in one of the rounds, and probably beef up the offensive line as well.
Cool. Well, listen, guys, that caps off this. This I thought we were gonna do 1 hour. We did like 2 hours almost. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate us doing this. I hope we can get together again after the draft and do this again. I hope to stay in touch with all you guys and be safe. And I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right,
We'll
fellas.
do. You too, brother.
I'll post this on YouTube and send you guys a link.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.